Put into your death. Small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Late Night Tape. Not Late Night Tape.
Welcome.
Great start.
But anyway, like we said, we're doing about top 12 Muppets today. But before we get into that in the panel, this is not the poll. I do the polls every Sunday for the last episode, and this is what the poll thought of our top 12 all-time horror movies. As you can see, it's some moved up. Like everyone sort of wanted Scream number one, which is what happened with the poll. But yeah, I mean, most of the time is just all over the place. But over here we've got Richie. Richie, how's it going?
Going good, man. Ready to talk about Muppets. I think Muppets were a big part of my childhood. Big, huge nostalgia. So it'd be good to sort of revisit these characters.
Also here we've got Brian. Brian, how's it going?
It's going good. It's time to play some music. Time to like the last time to rank some Muppets here, so rank them tonight.
Also here we've got Alejandro. Alejandro, how's it going?
Doing all right, man. I've been catching up on my chores today because I've been skimping for the last week. But you got the free time, you do what you can. I came up with a list for the Muppets. It was actually very difficult, so I'm curious to see how this one's going to go.
And last but not least, we've got Jonathan. Jonathan, how's it going?
I got one word to say about this. Phenomena.
The
Phenomena.
Yeah, we're not getting into that right now. I mean, just
Okay,
because
all right.
no, it's fine. It's stuck in my head because I was watching a Sandra Bullock sketch they did on Muppets Tonight where it's Phenomena. But anyway,
All right.
with that being said, how the show works is we each go around in a panel and bring up a Muppet that we think belongs on the top 12. One thing I have said is no characters that originated in Sesame Street, because that's going to be a list for another time. But Richie, we're going to go to you first. Who is the first Muppet you're going to bring up?
All right. I mean, I thought about bringing up the lesser ones, but I have to bring this guy up first. One of my favorite Muppets, just a badass who needs to be on this list. Not every Muppet has a drum off with Dave Grohl. I'm gonna go Animal. And Animal is just he's just such a cool character. Even in adulthood, I really love. I've committed. I want to get a tattoo of this guy eventually. We'll see what happens. But I think you can't do a top 12 Muppets without him being on the list and being very, very high up the list. So yeah, Animal.
Brian, what do you say about Animal?
I'll go give him a yes. He's one of my favorites. I even love where he says Roman, where he chases the women everywhere. So there you go. My pick is yes.
Alejandro, what do you say about Animal?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. Animal is my favorite Muppet of all time. I actually struggled with putting him at number one on my list, but I couldn't really justify it. He does play an instrument, which makes him automatically cooler than most of the other Muppets. So yeah, I'm absolutely down with Animal being on the list.
Jonathan, what would you say about Animal?
Yes. Definitely yes. Because Animal is one of my top 5 favorite Muppets. He was always Mr. Unpredictable every time he shows up on screen, even a good way or a bad way. And I love his random drum skills along with it. And basically, he was just more like one time waiting for a good time every time he shows up. So Animal definitely gets a yes.
Animal is easily a yes for me as well. And it's just one of those ones that I've connected. I connect a lot with animal. I actually do know one of my friends does have an animal tattoo, so it's definitely not. It's a very popular tattoo to get apparently. But if that animal was the first one to make the list, Brian, what is your first nomination?
I'm gonna go with Beaker. He's been one of my favorite Muppets. I love his reactions whenever he gets tortured by Bunsen Honeydew, and I love all his the inventions he got tortured from.
Alejandro, what do you say about Beaker?
Beaker absolutely goes on the list. My only condition would that he be paired with Dr. Bunsen, because they're kind of like a package deal.
I mean, I will say Beaker counts enough on his own, but
okay. I'm down with putting Beaker on the list. I just wanted, I didn't want to get Bunsen all shunned.
No, it's all good. Jonathan, what do you say about Beaker?
Before we go on, I did ask the crews I do count as duos. This is the one I was kind of referring to. It pains me to do this. I love Beaker. Beaker is kind of like one of these Muppets characters that were basically sort of like, not he doesn't talk properly, but also you can tell by his eye motion when he make the noise. So hard one for me. But if you say maybe group with Bunsen and Beaker, I wouldn't say yes. But separate, it's a really hard one for me. But I would give a slight no. Not because I don't like Beaker. I do love Beaker, but I think I would have think about if they were personally paired up. I think it would be more leaning to that. So I'll give a slight no.
I agree with Jonathan.
But in saying that, it doesn't matter because it's going to be a guess for me for Beaker anyway. Beaker's going to make this list. I do like Beaker. Part of the reason that I am leaning towards not making them a duo with Bunsen is because Beaker, you do tend to see them separately from time to time.
Yeah, that's true.
Unlike some duos which are going to come up, you only ever see them together. But yeah, Richie, what do you say about Beaker?
I understand the argument of pairing them because like they're kind of synonymous with each other, even though they've had separate things. But I do think maybe Beaker, definitely is more some the iconic character. So I'd definitely say yes.
But Beaker makes this list. Alejandro, we go to you.
Okay. Well, first of all, Beaker's a great character. I'm glad he's on the list. I'm going to go ahead and get this one out of the way real quick. Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. The band itself.
Yeah.
Like I said, any Muppet that can play an instrument, automatically the best type of Muppet. So absolutely need to lump them all together, including Animal, because he's the drummer. Like, you got to have a rhythm section. So that I nominate Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
Yeah. Jonathan, what do you say about Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem?
I wish you could have said that before he brought up Animal, though. If you say them right, if you say the band, you're saying include Animal along with it. So, I love them as a band. Those are my favorite Disney bands. I will give it a no on it because I think you're basically not saying like a lot of people in there, but I think there was a little bit more deserving on that spot. So I'll give it a slight no.
Yeah. I mean, Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem are fun. I do have to say no to them as well. That I just never connected to them at all. Richie, what do you say about Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem?
Consult my dog. Hang on.
I think he's mad that he might. I think he's mad that one of his fucking patrons said no.
I like Dr. Teeth. In the Mayhem, it was something I was going to maybe bring up quite soon. So I would have said yeah.
And Brian, which it means you're the decider on this. What do you say about Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem?
I would give it a slight yes. I do love their performances as a band.
And Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem do make this list.
Yes.
Jonathan, we move to you.
Okay, let's be real. 3 characters in, and we need to get this character out of the way so we don't have to keep beating around the bush. I think we can all agree on that, right? All right.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm wearing green for that reason. So, one. How about this? We can all say it together and basically get out of the way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kermit.
Kermit the Frog.
You're late on my birthday. You're supposed to stay along with me, but yeah. Kermit the Frog. Like, let's be real. You want to get a Muppets without Kermit, so he is basically the architect of all the Muppets along with it. So it depends who is voicing him, who basically operates him. Kermit is basically arguably the straight man of the Muppets, and he's the glue to keep the group together. So Kermit all the way.
I'm going to get this out of the way. Anyone going to say no to Kermit? Good. Kermit makes.
Okay, cool.
That was quick.
I mean,
That's correct.
There's no denying it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones I figured that it was going to. No one was going to say no. Well, I'll see if anyone's going to. But anyway, but fun fact, he was probably going to be the first one I was going to bring up when it got around to me anyway, which now it is. There's a few obvious ones that I'm not going to go for straight away. I'm actually going to get this one out the way because I like the Swedish Chef. The Swedish Chef is just one of those. is one of those characters that is always synonymous with the Muppets, and this is one that, like, when they started doing their whole YouTube videos, randomly, just to keep them. The Muppets doing something. Swedish Chef appeared in a lot of those, whether it's his popcorn shrimp ones or that. And there's a reason they keep going to Swedish Chef every now and then. But yeah, Richie, what do you say about Swedish Chef?
Hurdy-gurdy. That's Swedish Chef, I guess.
Brian, what do you say about Swedish Chef?
Heck yes for Swedish Chef. I love him, and who knew he would go against Chef Ramsay? All chefs.
The food truck.
It's good stuff.
Alejandro, what do you say about Swedish Chef?
Swedish Chef actually threw off my list. So I had to put somebody who was actually more well-known as a Muppet out on number 13, honorable mention. So I did put Swedish Chef on my list. I think he does belong on the list.
And Jonathan, what do you have to say about Swedish Chef?
Yes, it will get a yes for me. And regardless of which type of food he's cooking or planning to cook, you'll always spur us very intrigued every time he shows up on screen. Even doesn't have to use like kitchen materials to cook the food with. That's also the great part about him. Like, he doesn't even use kitchen materials to cook the food along with it. He just toss them out along with it and just start the deal with himself. So I will give it a yes to Swedish Chef.
Richie, what is the first Muppet you're going to bring up? Next Muppet you're going to bring up?
Second, yeah. Look, I mean, maybe people who know me will know that outside of this trivia sort of world, I do comedy. I'm a comedian. I've been doing it for about 10 years. And you can't have a list on here without the comedian of the bunch, Fozzie Bear. Waka, waka, waka. I think he like maybe aside from Animal, he's my next favorite one. I think I love Fozzie Bear. Yeah, you can't do a list without him. So yeah, Fozzie Bear.
Brian, what do you say about Fozzie?
Yes, he's been one of my favorite Muppets, and you can't have a list without Fozzie Bear.
Alejandro, what do you say about Fozzie?
I apologize. I'm having a little bit of audio trouble. I can't really hear anything. Who are we on?
Fozzie.
Fozzie Bear.
Fozzie.
Fozzie Bear. Fozzie Bear was actually the one on my list that I knocked for the Swedish Chef. I think there are other Muppets that need to go on the list, and there's just not enough room for Fozzie in the top 12. So I'm going to say no to Fozzie.
Jonathan, what do you say about Fozzie Bear?
Yes, Fozzie is in my list, and he gets a yes. He is basically your support group, even though he's trying to cheer you up with his jokes. Even, let's be real, his jokes don't really land all that much. Even he constantly got called out on it, but still, he's sort of the one you actually root for to succeed regardless. And he is basically one of my favorite Muppet characters. Along with that, ever since I started watching the Muppet movies right here, he was also one of my favorites when he stood out. So I will give my love to Fozzie.
And yeah, I would have said yes to Fozzie as well. When it comes to Fozzie is one of my favorite characters. I used to actually have a toy of Fozzie Bear somewhere. I do not know where it ended up. Maybe I just gave it away to someone at one point. But yeah, Fozzie is great. I like him. He makes the list. Brian, what is the next Muppet you're going to bring up?
I'm going to bring up a duo, which is Statler and Waldorf. These are like the OG trolls. Every time we see them, they always heckle or make certain jokes about them. Like in the Muppet movies, they're making fun of Phil, saying, "I see detergent better than this." So Statler and Waldorf is my pick.
Alejandro, what do you say about Statler and Waldorf?
I'm glad that they're paired together. That is what I'm most glad about, because they are a package deal. They always travel together. You see them together. They gave one of them a new role in the Christmas Carol, the Muppets Christmas Carol that they did. The Statler and Waldorf were playing Jacob Marley, and the other one, which I'm actually putting in the vault. I'm saving that one for my next match. But yes, Statler and Waldorf, definitely.
Jonathan, what do you say about Statler and Waldorf?
I'm very tempted because I want to get other Muppets on there. I want to get a different variety of Muppets on there. I'm very tempted to say yes on Statler and Waldorf, though. I do love them. They're the original trolls. I basically keep roasting on them, especially Fozzie in particular, every time they have a joke. And since we got Dr. Tina and Mayhem on there, it's a hard one for me. It's hard because I do love both of them, but I might be screwed down on this, but I'll give it a no because I think there are other Muppets I need to be a little bit more represented here, though. So I'll get a slight no on it.
Yeah. I'm going yes on Statler and Waldorf. This is like some of my favorite bits when it comes to the Muppet shows. Like just seeing them up there, sort of doing the heckling bit. And I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter what they do. I mean, whether it you can put them anywhere. I know there's in the Muppets movies. There's a few good moments. And I think in one of them they appear in the end credits, just making fun of the actual movie. But yeah, it's an easy yes for me. Richie, what would you have said about Statler and Waldorf?
Yeah, easy yes. They're just the you sort of every time you watch the Muppets, you kind of root for like what heckles Statler would have come up with. They're sort of the parody of like the like old generation not getting the cranky old man not getting like maybe like more modern humor. I would say definitely yes for Statler and Waldorf.
But there, Alejandro, we go back to you. What is your next one you're going to bring up?
Okay. Trying to flip a coin if I want to do the easy one or the harder to sell one. I think I'm going to go with the other one. I nominate Scooter, the stage manager for the show. It's an overall thankless job, and I'd like to see him get credited.
Jonathan, what do you say about Scooter?
Get it a no. I'm sorry. I like Scooter. He's a good one, but like I mentioned earlier, you just got Dr. T and Electric Mayhem. Technically, he is in that group. So basically,
True.
it's on technical side right here. I had to give it a no. You know, I do like Scooter.
Yeah, Scooter is one of those ones that he's there. He doesn't really do much for me. Well, not that I'm saying stage managers don't do much, because they are important when it comes to theatre. It's just that in the show he doesn't really do a lot. He makes like a few appearances in the movies and disappears. But yeah, Richie, what do you say about Scooter?
You know what? I know he doesn't have much of like a huge like role in the show, but like he kind of just doesn't have the most iconic lines. But I do like Scooter. I'm I was gonna say yes.
Which means once again it's on Brian. Does Scooter make this list?
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of Scooter.
Fair enough. I got a soft spot for stage managers.
But with that, we move over to Jonathan. Jonathan, what is your next nomination?
I'm gonna put my first wild card on there on the list, so it depends how the rest of you guys feel. I'm gonna pick the ones that one of my first exposure on the Muppets is one of their movies, and one of my favorite Muppet movies, in my opinion, and a very underrated one, if I am, is Muppet Treasure Island. And one of the characters from that show, from that movie, actually, it was such a stand out, is Rizzo the Rat. And I love Rizzo because he is basically great wingman along with Gonzo, along with Pepe, or any other Muppet you pair him up with. He was always there to basically help you out with weird situations. Even like Muppets Take Manhattan and basically sort of like help you out throughout the streets throughout Manhattan, and pretty much every Muppet film we just saw, like Christmas Carol, Treasure Island, or any other Muppet movie, he is also the one to sort of like help the heroes out or help you really need, and Mr. Reliable. So I will give my some love with Rizzo.
Yeah, Rizzo's. I do like Rizzo a lot. I'm gonna give it a slight yes. But yeah, Richie, what do you say about Rizzo?
I do like Rizzo a lot. Honestly, like he was definitely a standout of the Island, and I like the character. Yeah, like I mean, I think it deserves to make the list. I don't know if I'd rank it like that highly, but I think it's not out of place in this list. So I would say yes.
Brian, what do you say about Rizzo the Rat?
I'm going to give it yes. I love Rizzo, especially in like the Muppet attraction Walt Disney World. Him dressed as Mickey Mouse always give me quite a laugh.
Yeah.
And Alejandro, what would you say about Rizzo?
Rizzo's kind of a tough one, but I did end up putting him on the list, so I'm absolutely down with him going on the list.
But with that, we've got 4 spots left, and I'm going to bring up someone who arguably can be a peer with one of the people that's already made this list, but this person is a force on their own, especially when they're karate chopping Kermit. And it's Miss Piggy. I mean, and like Miss Piggy is just one of those characters which, if you ever want a true representation of a diva in any show, Miss Piggy is probably the way to go. Like, in, in both the Muppets movie and the Muppets 2011, I think she's playing the whole high maintenance thing, and even in the short-lived TV show they did on ABC, is like just everything that she did behind the scenes of that her own TV shows. Like, she's arguably probably the second big Muppet behind Kermit, and she's probably the second most well known. Richie, what do you say about Miss Piggy?
Yeah, just to give a shout out. I think people slept on the ABC the Muppets that kind of didn't last long. I really like that show. I wish more people watched it. But anyway, yeah, like that was gonna be my next pick. I knew where you were going as soon as you said being paired. I'm like, oh, he's gonna steal my pick. But yeah, Miss Piggy is, probably, like you said, is probably one of the more iconic characters. But outside of Kermit, he's I think she's great. But not much else I can say other what you already said. But I'll say yes.
Brian, what do you say about Miss Piggy?
I'm gonna give it a yes. You can't have a Muppets list without the diva herself, Miss Piggy.
Of course not. Otherwise, she'll hunt me down. Alejandro.
I mean, yeah, you got to have Miss Piggy on there. She is the lead female actress in this show, so of course you got to have her on.
And Jonathan, what would you say about Miss Piggy?
Yes. That's nothing much I can say. All of you guys kind of basically set up for Miss Piggy, though, so I will not say much to that. So I will give it a yes.
Richie, what is your next nomination?
All right. They briefly brought it up before, but I think we need to have it on the list. One of the stars of the underrated, in my opinion, Muppets in Space. Gonzo. I think Gonzo is great. I find him really entertaining. There's not much else to say. He's just one of those ones that characters I gravitated towards when I watched as a kid. So I think Gonzo should be on this list. So
Brian, what do you say about Gonzo?
I mean, Gonzo is one of the best stuntmen ever. Like, he should be on this list. If not, he's gonna crash through another window.
Alejandro, what do you say about Gonzo?
Gonzo was meant to stand out. That's how he's created. He's a whatever, he looks more like he should be in like Labyrinth or the Dark Crystal or something, but instead he's firing himself out of cannon and marrying a chicken. I'm absolutely putting Gonzo on my list, so yes.
Jonathan, what do you say about Gonzo?
Okay, before I make my decision, can I just add that about Muppets in Space? I don't kind of like that movie all that much. I
quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's okay, I guess. Sorry, I just want to get that out of the way. All right, that's Gonzo. And I will get yes to Gonzo though. Like kind of mentioned along with Rizzo though, he's very good with interacting with other Muppets though. He was very good at basically sort of like that weird scenario. Even when you take out sort of the stuntman right here, he was just very a good casual person in general though. Like even though he's a whatever, and basically he was very much a guy to understand when you have a little talk with. So I will give yes for Gonzo.
I would have gone yes for Gonzo. Gonzo was this is one I was considering pairing him with Rizzo and Pepe because those three are quite often seen together on the show, but ultimately they made the list separately. But yeah, Gonzo's great.
Fantastic.
We've got 2 spots left. Brian, you're up.
Okay, this is a tough one, but let's go with Pepe, the newest Muppets. I quite enjoy him. He's like one of the smooth days, man, and one of the best best seafood character we get. Best seafood character we get. So I'm nominating Pepe.
Pepe the King Prawn is up. Alejandro, what do you say?
I agree with Malcolm that I put Rizzo and Pepe on the list in the same spot. I think Gonzo can kind of be separated. He's got his own story stuff going on, but Rizzo and Pepe kind of serve the same purpose in the show. So I'm gonna say yes to Pepe.
Jonathan, what do you say about Pepe?
If they're early on the list, I would agree with it. But you say we have 2 more spots left for the Muppets. I'll give it a no, unfortunately. So I'll just give it a no.
Yeah. And this is one that I like Pepe as a character. And I do see him more paired with Rizzo than anything, but as a character on his own, because he has had some standard solo things, I really don't like him if he's taken away from Rizzo. So I'm just going to say no to Pepe, which means Richie. Does Pepe make the list?
Man, it's bad. I'm going back and forth on this, man. Like on one hand, I'm like, well, we've got Rizzo on this list, and Rizzo and Pepe kind of like, they're synonymous with each other. So it's kind of so we have one but not the other. But then I feel like Rizzo is definitely the more interesting character on his own. I'm going like I might regret. I'm going to say no.
And with that, Pepe doesn't make this list. Alejandro, who is the next one you're going to bring up?
Okay, I've only got 2 left that aren't already on the list, and they're both terrible. So strap in. I'm gonna flip a coin, and I'm gonna go with Rowlf. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm guessing about 75% of people don't know who Rowlf is. But yeah, he's the dog who plays the piano. Doesn't really do much. He doesn't antagonize. He's just very chill and likes to play the piano, and that's my kind of character.
Jonathan, what do you say about Rowlf?
He's an okay character. He just hangs around a bit, and
right.
Like again, I mentioned earlier, he technically is in the band, so basically we did kind of include him on the list. So I will give it a no on his own now. Give it a no.
Yeah, I mean, Rowlf is one of those characters who's there. I mean, he's also one of those ones that you will know even though he doesn't have a big presence. I'm gonna give it a slight no. See what happens. Richie, what do you say about Rowlf?
Oh, I love Rowlf. I was thinking about bringing him up. But I like you said, I thought with the Dr. Teeth thing, I thought he was in. Maybe he counted towards that. But like he doesn't do much. But then you always notice his presence. He's like he's kind of like that guy's got charisma without actually kind of being kind of out there, and it's just sort of And I don't know. I like the fact that he did. Yeah. I don't know. He's one of those ones that's like kind of it makes you feel good when you see him on screen. So I'd say yeah.
Brian, what do you say about Rowlf?
I would give it a yes. I love his songs. Some of them make you emotional as well. So I'll say yes.
Yeah,
that is surprising. I did not see it playing out like that.
And also, I don't think Rowlf is officially part of Dr. Teeth and the Electric.
He's not.
Yeah, I think Dr. Teeth plays the piano in the band. Yeah.
Because I mean, even Animal is one of those. I don't think Animal is officially part of that band, but he's quite often lumped with the band. But anyway, got one spot left. Jonathan, we're on you.
Oh, kind of surprised we kind of done this pretty much earlier in the show than I expected. Another one is very intriguing. I'm gonna go an outside the box character for my next selection. No, wait. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. I'm picking Sweetums, and the reason I pick Sweetums because you basically sort of a lovable loser with Sweetums, and he's basically one of these guys like when you trying to like when he sort of gets hurt and you're just like you kind of feel sorry for him regardless, even though he's a big huge guy, but you kind of feel sorry for him along with it. So I will go with maybe with Sweetums.
Yeah, this is tough because I do connect with Sweetums quite a lot because I am a big guy, but it's I'm gonna have to give him a slight no. There's one. I've got one more person on my list that I want to try and bring up, and I know it's getting back to me if this one doesn't make it on. Richie, what do you say about Sweetums?
I'm just gonna say, yeah, I'll say no, just because I think there's more iconic people on this on this list that I want to bring up. There's at least two people I want to bring up. So I will, I'll say no, but I appreciate the nomination.
Brian, what do you say about Sweetums?
I'll give it a slight no. There's Rust Ball left, and then there's other Muppets to talk about.
Yeah, I know.
Alejandro, what would you have said about Sweetums?
I agree with both Jonathan and Richie. Like, he is a more interesting character than people give him credit for, but I don't think in the list of the first 12 Muppets that people think of that he's going to be on the list. But because my vote doesn't matter, I'm going to say yes.
But it's back to me, and we've been dancing around this guy ever since arguably one half of was brought up. I'm going to bring up Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. Well, yes, he is quite often paired with Beaker, but you do see them apart quite a lot as well. But Dr. Bunsen belongs on this list regardless on if he's paired with Beaker or not, because it's just one of those ones. His inventions are just legendary, and some of the things he makes these inventions for is like you wonder why would anyone actually need this invention in the first place. But Richie, what do you say about Dr. Bunsen Honeydew?
I had two people in my head, and that one was Dr. Bunsen. So yes, I think we have to again, like I know, he's probably more known for being pairing with Beaker, but I think he's still, he still makes him an iconic character. So yeah, I would say yes.
Brian, what do you say about Dr. Bunsen Honeydew?
I like him, but he's not one of my favorites, so no.
Alejandro, what do you say about Dr. Bunsen Honeydew?
I say Dr. Bunsen should be paired with Beaker. I said that earlier, but on his own, he is still funny. He does deliver the dialogue that is good. And the only option I have left here, I don't even want to fight for, so I'm going to say yes to Dr. Bunsen.
He does make this list. Jonathan, what would you have said about Dr. Bunsen Honeydew?
I would give it a no because I think he works best when we look side with Beaker. Though outside of it, he doesn't really do much, so I wouldn't give him no.
But with that, Dr. Bunsen does make this list. And just to recap, the Muppets that are on our top shelf: got Animal, Beaker, Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem, Kermit the Frog, Swedish Chef, Fozzie Bear, Statler and Waldorf, Rizzo, Miss Piggy, Gonzo, Rowlf, and Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. Richie, did you have any honorable mentions?
Only one, really. That's Sam the Eagle. I actually really like this character. I understand why I probably wouldn't. But he was the other one that I was thinking of, other than Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. Yeah, and maybe if we were talking about like Sesame Street as well, I would put Grover. But But yeah, because I think he's great. But yeah, those are the only things I put in.
Wherever it's the Gonzo of Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Brian, did you have any honorable mentions?
Yes, I have a few. I had Cross the T from Muppets Most Wanted, New Zealand, Walter, I have a number that on there, Bubble the Bear, Uncle Deadly, Crazy Harry, and Link Hawkthrob.
Alejandro, do you have any
Oh.
honorable mentions?
Yeah, I had the same one Richie did. I said Sam Eagle. I'm right there with you, man.
Jonathan, did you have any honorable mentions?
Same thing as all of you guys. I would have said Sam Eagle, Bubble the Bear, Uncle Deadly. Someone I want to add in. He may not be not well known to people at first, but I always pop up with odd circumstances. The Newsman, what they use as
Oh,
news
yes.
segment. And basically, and also quick little shout out to Robin the Frog, along with it. And
I'm a big fan of him.
yeah, and what else I got there? Technically, it's not technically all group, but there are a lot of penguins on there. So basically, a lot of penguins, chickens, 80s robot, the two annoying stepson. I mean, the siblings of Miss Piggy and Big Mean Carl, and
Oh, yes.
yes, and hold on, I think I have one more in there. That's all I can. It's Johnny and Sal along with it.
Oh,
and
yes.
and that's pretty much it. That's all I can come up with.
I'm really surprised nobody said pigs in space.
Pigs in space.
Yeah.
And I actually don't have a lot of honorable mentions because most of the ones I said, there's a couple I did consider bringing up. Like I did consider bringing up Constantine, the evil Kermit.
Yeah.
And the other one that I'm actually kind of surprised didn't come up because I know a lot of people do like this. Is the Ghost of Christmas Present from Muppets
Oh,
Christmas
yeah.
Carol. But with that being said, now it's time to actually rank this into 12. So the way we do this is write on the whiteboard a bit of paper or anything you got handy on who we want at number 12.
Oh, okay.
Just gotta get my loud bubble.
But I've already got mine written down.
Same here.
Okay.
But Brian, what do you have for 12?
I had Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem.
Alejandro, who did you have for 12?
I forgot about that one. I was going to agree with that, but I put Rizzo.
Jonathan, who did you have at 12?
Dr. Bunsen Honeydew.
I also had Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. Richie, who do you have at 12?
I would probably I would put I honestly I would put probably Dr. Bunsen.
Alejandro, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew or Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem at 12?
I'm going to go ahead and get this one out of the way. Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem at number 12.
Alejandro, who do you have at 11? Who do you want at 11?
I don't think I'm going to get any pushback on this. Dr. Bunsen.
Jonathan, who do you want at 11?
Dr. Bunsen Honeydew.
Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. Richie.
Dr. Bunsen.
Brian.
It's a clean sweep for Dr. Bunsen.
That's right. Teamwork makes the dream work, fellas.
Jonathan, who do you have at 10?
Swedish Chef.
I put Rizzo. Richie,
Rizzo.
Brian,
Rizzo.
Alejandro.
I also went with the Swedish Chef.
But with a 3-2 is Rizzo. For number 9, I've got Rowlf. Richie, who do you have at 9?
We're on the same page, bro.
Brian,
You guys are even wide. Wolf.
Alejandro,
This is insanity. Rowlf.
Jonathan.
I wrote something else. I want to see a chef.
Oh, I also had another sheep.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Also, that's really high for Rowlf. I'm very happy about that.
Let's go with.
I mean, it's one of those ones, like, for me, like, I connect to him more than the other ones. Richie, who do you have for 8?
Swedish Chef.
Brian,
This is tough. I got with Gonzo.
Alejandro,
I'm thinking the Swedish Chef.
Jonathan.
Swedish Chef.
I went for Beaker, but it doesn't matter. Swedish Chef is going to be 8.
Cool.
You must have called me on accident. So I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay. Right.
Brian, who do you have for
Based on this list, I went with Beaker.
Alejandro?
I'm putting him low. I'm saying Fozzie Bear.
Jonathan?
Your joke must be that bad then.
Wow, a shocker. Beaker.
Yeah, I went for Beaker. Richie?
Beaker.
And with that, Beaker is going to be at 7. Just to recap who we've got left, we've got Animal, Kermit, Fozzie Bear, Statler and Waldorf, Miss Piggy, and Gonzo. Right, Alejandro, who do you have at 6?
I'm sticking to my guns. Fozzie Bear.
Jonathan.
Statler and Waldorf.
I've also got Statler and Waldorf. Richie.
Man, we are on the same page. Statler and Waldorf.
Brian.
I still like Gonzo.
That Statler and Waldorf is going to be 6.
All right.
Jonathan, who do you have at 5?
Gonzo.
I've actually got Animal. Richie.
Gonzo.
Brian.
Gonzo.
Alejandro.
I stuck with Fozzie.
Oh, Gonzo is Gonzo to 5.
That's wild. I thought he would have been way higher than that.
But 4-4, I'm sticking with Animal. Richie,
Fozzie.
Brian,
Yeah, let's go with Animal.
Alejandro,
No.
Fozzie Bear.
Jonathan.
Animal.
Animal is good.
No, Animal, what are you
Animal's
doing?
way better than 4.
Ah.
Brian, who do you have for 4?
Come at me, Miss
3.
Piggy.
Alejandro, who do you have at 3?
I'm sticking with Fozzie.
Jonathan.
My game restrained after this is over. Miss Peggy.
I've got Fozzie. Richie.
Yeah, why is Fozzie been making this far? I like Fozzie, but you try Fozzie.
Now, instead of voting for our number 2, we're going to vote straight to number 1.
This should be easy.
It should be.
All I can say is we all get restrained or after this is over.
But Alejandro, who do you have for number 1?
Say it with me now. Kermit the Frog.
Jonathan.
Kermit.
Richie.
Kermit.
Brian.
Kermit the Frog. Yay!
Animal number 4.
I know, right? That's gonna like keep me up at night. Nothing against Miss Piggy, by the way. She still made number 2 on the list.
Yeah.
But with that being said, just to recap what made our 12. At number 12, we had Dr. T from Electric Mayhem. At 11, we got Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. At 10, we got Rizzo the Rat. At 9, we got Rowlf the Dog. At 8, we got the Swedish Chef. At 7, we got Beaker. At 6, we got Statler and Waldorf. At 5, we got Gonzo. At 4, we got Animal. At 3, we got Fozzie Bear. At 2, we got Miss Piggy. And number 1, we got Kermit the Frog. Yay!
Yeah.
But with that being said, the poll for next week's episode of Rankum is up. Go vote on what you want the topic to be. Richie, we can find you online.
Yeah, just I'm around all the trivia spaces. You can find me a lot on the wrestling trivia. I do a lot of the wrestling trivia stuff, and you'll see me around. I pop up everywhere. So, yeah.
Brian, where can people find you online?
Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. I do movie battles, which is the Disney Pixar League. Tuesday, tomorrow, Monday, I'll be on Jordan's show talking about fictional restaurants with Jonathan and Malcolm. And also, I'll be there Friday talking about my favorite films of all time.
Alejandro, where can people find you online?
You can find me on YouTube at Alejandro H. I'm all over Twitter. Sometimes I do matches with Full Metal Trivia. So I'll be up again probably next week. I have to wait a week.
Jonathan, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, JPET1098. You can find me on Facebook, Jonathan Peck. And I'm sort of there. I'll just leave it at that. And check out some stuff for debate leagues for TNG Entertainment. And if you follow me for not tomorrow, but on Monday, actually, we're just talking about fictional not fast food, but fictional restaurants and movies and TV show restaurants, though. So if you're curious, give it a watch. Like, subscribe there.
Pizza Planet.
And you can find me on Take 3, where I host Rankum every Saturday, and on every Sunday, and it will be on tomorrow. I do late night of Take 3, and tomorrow we're going to be talking about some bad movies, because why not?
Can't wait.
So everyone knows one movie that's going to be mentioned, but
43.
But anyway, you can also find me over on Full Metal, where I host Classic at 6 p.m. Eastern on Sundays. And this week is going to be a Survivors match, and it's going to be on Monday, I think I've been settled on. But it's going to be on Survivor anyway. So, yeah, I'm going to be busy on Monday. But yeah, you could, until next time, keep listening shit as I find something to go out on. I really should have done them.
Just give me
Downloaded
all the
Muppets.
bacon and eggs you have.